Yo, welcome to Fast Forward Mindset Motivational Podcast. I'm your host, Coach James. This is where we rewire your thoughts, reset your mindset, and fast forward your life. No more rewinding, just discipline, motivation, and the truth you need to become unstoppable. If you're ready to elevate your mindset and take control of your future, you're in the right place. Let's go.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. So, today we have an exciting episode. I not only have one guest, I have two. And I'll tell you, this is the first time I've actually had a threesome on my episode. That is a podcast threesome. Don't think nothing crazy, folks. Okay. So, I have Mark and Justine on today's episode. And when I have guests, I get really excited, and sometimes I start to share their story before I allow them to share. So I have great or better manners these days, and so I won't do that today. But anyways, I'll go ahead and introduce Mark and Justine to you all. I hope that you would give them the same attention that you would give me. Mark and Justine, on behalf of myself and my podcast, Fast Forward Mindset Motivational Podcast, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited to have you both on the episode today.
Thank you so much for asking us. We appreciate the invite and sharing our story as well.
You're welcome. So, Mark, tell us a little bit about your journey. Tell us who you are and what do you want to share with my listeners today? We're excited for you.
Well, about 5 years ago, I ended up having cancer. I ended up retiring, dealing with the pandemic, and moving all the way across country so that I could be near my grandkids. And I was a bit scared of what retirement would bring, and let alone starting all over again. And met the grandkids, and both of them were absolutely super kids. Just a lot of fun to be around. And they inspired the idea of creating a book. And we had the book Milo's Superpower. And
Wow.
it was inspired by one of them. The two of them were having a rough day together.
Okay.
And the one just looked kind of in a chair, and no one pays attention to him. He was left out. And I told him that, you have a superpower. And he was excited. Any little kid to hear that they have a superpower gets kind of excited. And I told him that his smile was a superpower. He could light up a room. He did silly stuff. And whatever the situation was, whether it's in playing with Justine over the FaceTime, or with us here, or in school, he's just really popular because he has this power to turn situations around. So when we told him this, he was excited and started telling other people, I have a superpower. I have a superpower. And we went to the park one day, and he comes running back to tell Grandma, that boy over there doesn't have a superpower. So we explained to him that Superman, Clark Kent, they often did not, they wanted to keep being Superman and being Clark Kent secret. Not everybody wants someone else to know. So I said, maybe he isn't sharing, or maybe he hasn't discovered it yet, but everybody has a superpower, and maybe you can help him discover what that superpower is. So we decided that had to go into a book. And Justine is a cousin, and I got to share the story with her. And as a teacher, she could help figure out whether there was something in there that needed to be told and shared.
Yeah, so I actually read the very, very first draft of the story without illustrations or anything. It was literally just a sheet of paper, and they loved it. They they were just so engaged and into the story, and they related to the story, especially because the older one is 7 years old and I teach second grade. So they were all like, oh my gosh, I'm 7. Which was super cute. But so they loved it right off the bat, which was really cool. And they were kind of with me every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I showed them then once we started having the illustrations, once we finished the illustrations, I showed them the published book. So that was really cool to have them by my side and like
Mm-hmm.
help me be like, wow, maybe you should add this, or like this was my favorite part. I even had them draw illustrations in the beginning, which helped us kind of figure out what we wanted our illustrations to look like, which was really cool to have their input. And something else that's really special about this book is our illustrator is actually the art teacher at my school. So Mark
Wow.
reached out to me and he was like, do you know somebody that could illustrate this book? And I was like, well, let me ask my art teacher. She's a great artist. I'm sure she'd be interested. So she drew us some samples. We loved them. And then the rest is history. So this is a super special book to me too. Not only is it about my little cousins who I love dearly, but also it kind of ties into my school as my art teacher is the illustrator. So really, really cool things all around.
Wow, that's definitely cool. Hey, and there's nothing like writing a book that brings family together, right?
Definitely.
I feel like that for myself, I focus a lot on memories, creating memories, right? And making memories, because that's all we really have. No matter if you're a millionaire, a billionaire, all you really have to take with you is memories. And so
Absolutely.
when you can do something like this that includes the family, includes everyone else who needs to be pulled into it, it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm glad that, Mark, you came up with that idea to write the book and to include your grandchildren in that, because it doesn't get any more special than that. So that's great.
It's definitely become a family thing too. Last summer I went out, so I'm in Connecticut and Mark's in California. So last summer I went out to visit. We did a book event at a bookstore, which was really cool. So we had grandkids, their parents come, and so everybody, we all kind of shared the responsibility. And so it's just a fun thing to do with family for sure.
Yeah, sounds fun.
We also went to a book fair around here, and the 7-year-old really gets into just telling people the story. At the bookstore, which was a book reading, he wanted to take turns reading the book and telling people about the characters in the book. And I think that's the interesting thing. A lot of the books, children's books you see these days, the artistry is very intense and very focused. The artwork in this book is simple. And I think what that allows for the kids to do as they're reading it, to identify with it, they make the story their own. And that's another exciting part of this, is not just our own kids, but some of the other kids get involved and see themselves in the characters in the story that's going on.
Wow. So Justine, during your share with the class, sounds like you said earlier that your class reacted pretty well to it. Did they really find themselves to be put into the book, like as a character?
Yes. So, like I said, the second page is so Oliver, like he was 7 years old, and at that point they all like exploded, like, oh my gosh, I'm 7. And I think a lot of the characteristics of the older kid, the kids related to. So Oliver gets frustrated when like he's making a robot and it breaks, or he gets frustrated when his mom says to turn off the TV. So that was a lot of moments that my kids connected with too, which was really cool. And I think they definitely were able to relate to the character of Oliver and also the character of Milo too, who just brings his smile everywhere. And, you know, talking about how superpowers aren't being fast or super strong. They could be part of your personality. And that a smile really goes a long way. You never know what somebody's going through, and a smile might have a lasting effect. That really changes somebody's life even.
Yeah. That's great. They were able to make a connection with that.
Yeah, it's funny because when I read the book, I have no background as an author. Well, I did write a book on a medical topic 35 years ago, but writing for small kids was totally different. So once the book was ready, I went to the younger ones, Milo, in the book, Rocky in real life, to his nursery school and read the story. And if I'm just reading, it can be 4 or 5 minutes to read through a small kid's book.
Yeah.
But it turns into 45 minutes because each of the kids wants to tell us about their superpower or how they have a superpower, but their brother doesn't, and how they use their superpowers. So it really turns out to be more of a dialogue and hearing from the kids. So many authors, so many kids authors out there are writing a book because they want to fix a broken world or fix kids or teach them. And in doing this, I'm sure this is something that, Justine, you know, we learn as much from them as they learn from us. And being able to learn to be open to that was an exciting part of this process.
Yeah. We learn from kids, like you said, like they learn from us. But I think we learn more from them than they do from us, right? It's funny when someone says something out loud and there's kids around and like, hey, it's kids around. I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, they can probably tell you about that and more. So hey, Mark, let's talk about the mindset you have to write a book. Okay. I started writing a book probably about 6 months ago, and it's been 6 months since I wrote the second page. So it's really one of those things I feel like for me where you have to really have the mindset to focus and to have a lot of creativity, right? And so if you can give us some context around what was your drive and the mindset you had to have to get you to start the book and finish it?
So I think first of all, Rocky or Milo was a character that was already written. I didn't have to create these kids. I could see them. Wednesday was Grandma Grandpa Day, and Rocky would not go to nursery school, and he would come over with us. And one day he comes over and he brings his Roomba vacuum. And why do you have that, Rocky? Yes, he loves vacuum. Any type of vacuum. That's what he wants to do when he grows up, was work with vacuums. So he brought his Roomba, and he likes to ride on the Roomba, either sit on it or lie like Superman and go around the house riding on this thing. But he brought it, and he said that if he left her at home, he decided that it was a she. If he left her at home, she would be lonely. So he brought her to our house, and he puts it in the room where we have our robot vacuum charging, and turns them both on and says that, look, Grandpa, they're dancing. And I mean, it just, for me, my mind was every place. And when he said that, it was just, you feel warm. You feel like this is a kid who likes to have a good time and see fun in things. And he wants to share that fun with others. He is so silly all the time. When I went to the school to read the book, he decided that he would take all his hair, knot it on top of his head, make a man bun. And he had this hair that stuck, about 4 inches straight up in the middle of his head.
Oh, gosh.
Because, he wanted to be seen. And it just makes people happy who are around and see that, and other kids react and parents react. And we forget that, you talked about money before. The wealth that I have in doing this is in building that relationship and the memories with these kids. People don't get rich. Very few people get rich. Very few people who write kids' books even cover whatever investment they make in doing it. So it has to be a love of storytelling.
Yeah. Agreed. There's just some different things in this world that has different measurements, right? And what do we really get from them? The feeling and the emotions behind it. And we said earlier, money is not always the key in, trying to feel fulfilled in this world. Sometimes it's just about the mission, right? And once the mission is complete,
Absolutely.
There's a smile on your face, right? So that's how it was with this podcast. I wasn't one of those guys that was like, hey, I want to start a podcast. I want to make all this money. I want to start a podcast because I want to be known for something. It was more along the lines of I want to start something that I can have for myself that will help others. My thing is just adding value to people's life. If I can add value to one person's life, my mission is accomplished. And so I get that feeling, Mark. It's really about the feeling at the end, not anything else.
Well, that certainly sounds like a parallel to the story that we're trying to tell here as well, is to bring value or bring happiness to other people. And I hope that as Rocky grows up, he continues to appreciate that that's a good thing. And then also that he appreciates that all people, everybody he meets is going to have some kind of superpower, and maybe he can help them express that.
Yeah, that's great. So if folks are interested in getting the book or reading it, where can they go to, Mark, to find it?
It's very easy. We have a webpage, Milo's Superpower. That's Milo's with an S on the end and Superpower. So there are two S's in the middle there. milossuperpower.com. And you can order the book from the website. There's also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Milo's Superpower is the same handle. It's interesting. There are some other books with Milo's out there. We started initially, he was going to be Noah's Superpower, but there actually was a book, Noah's Superpower. Noah was a monkey. So we had to do some editing along the way to fit in. But the website is a good place to start. And you can buy, we have it in the hardback, we have paperback, and also an ebook if people would like that.
Okay, cool. And just for my listeners that are listening today, if you're interested in the book, which I know you are, and your kid's going to be, I'm going to put the link within the body of the podcast episode description. So you can just click right on the link. It takes you right to order the book or whatever your idea is behind it, but you have a way to order the book if you would like. And Mark, I'll put your email information as well, if you're okay with that, in case someone is inspired and want to reach out to you. I felt like you told a very beautiful story and there was something behind it. And, people might connect and relate to that. And so they may say, hey, let me reach out to Mark. I'm inspired to write a book now, right? So Mark, when is number 2 coming out? Is that a thing, or is that a thought, or what does that look like?
Well, if I thought initially, I am retired, so I wanted to come close to breaking even. So far, I might be getting close to affording a cup of Starbucks from all the proceeds that that I get. I need a microscope to see the royalties that come out of Amazon for this. But we do have some ideas. One is about learning about friendship, and that everybody has a superpower. And those two topics could be possible for another book. One of the things I didn't mention that I want to include, Justine was great in developing a section on the website for classroom activities. So it's a really good place for teachers to go and find things that they can take this book and expand upon it. And then we also have discussion questions. So the kids usually have their own questions, but for the parents, it gives them a lot of ideas about questions they might ask and discuss with the kids as they're going through the reading.
Okay, sounds great. And hey, Justine, what grade do you teach?
I teach second grade.
Second grade.
Yes.
I remember being in second grade. I probably would have been the kid that you gave the most annoying kid award to. Like, okay, I'm calling your mom today. I've had enough.
Yep, there are kids like that, definitely.
Yeah. I had this, I don't know, this comical persona about myself. I always wanted to be the funny kid in the class, and sometimes my funniness would go overboard. Right? Okay, that was funny, but that was just plain pathetic, and that was me. You know, sometimes I'll push it too far. So my mom would get a call like, "Hey, what are you doing today?" Like, yeah, it was just one of those days today, Mom, where I tried to be over funny and I made myself look like an idiot in front of everybody. But well, thanks for sharing that, Mark. That you can go to that site as well and also find some activities for second graders or whatever grade they're in, something that Justine put together. So thank you for sharing that. My listeners actually are getting I feel like they're getting a perk today with knowing that information is available. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So Mark and Justine, I always ask all my guests one thing before the episode is over. I ask for a suggestion on how you can rewire the way you think. No, it doesn't just have to be for you. It could be for someone else. But can you both share a suggestion or an idea on how do you rewire the way you think?
Sure, I can go first. There's something that I try to do as much as I can. I think I saw someone post something about it like years ago, and I was like, that's a really good mindset shift. So instead of saying I have to, you say I get to. So for example, if like you're going on a run, you say, oh, like I have to run. You say, no, I get to run. Like I get to fuel my body. I'm so grateful. Like I can run. So that's been like a big mindset shift for me. And I try to do that as much as I can and just try to remember how lucky I really am, and definitely puts things in perspective for me.
Nice. I love that.
And I would say that a smile is like a pandemic. If you start it, it's not asking other people to make you smile, but if you share that smile, you're going to pass it on, and it can be very useful at bringing people together. Smiles are understood in every language by all people around the world, and it just can break the ice and do a lot in that regard.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, I worked with this guy years ago. And I mean, this guy was one of the angriest guys on the block. I used to call him Angry Man when he come into work. I mean, because everything just boiled this guy's blood. I mean, and it didn't take much. And me being in the same area as him, we had this little recognition card thing that we fill out once a week, and the managers would get together and they would read them and, to everyone. Well, he wrote one of the recognition cards for me, and he was like, hey, man, just so you know, I'm not a guy that smiles, but please keep smiling because it's contagious. I'm starting to feel like your smile is my smile. And he smiled.
Wow,
he wrote a
great.
smiley face on the card. And it really, really made me understand at that point, like, yes, smiling is contagious. Just because it got to one of the angriest guys in the world, I could say, and it made him really want to try and smile. He couldn't hardly smile, but he drew a smiley face on the card. So that told me on the inside he was smiling because he made that statement and wrote that card for me. And so I definitely can connect what you're saying about that smile.
That's kind of like the motivation for your podcast here.
Yeah.
And that you want to pass it on, spread it around.
Yep. That's what it's all about. So, hey, I just want to thank you both for being on today's episode. And I'm going to, like I said, this is just for my listeners. When the episode is uploaded, if you're interested, please go to the description of the episode and you'll find a link to Mark's book and the activities that Justine has as well on the website. You'll be able to get a perk and have access to that. So on behalf of myself and the podcast, Mark and Justine, thank you for joining today's episode. And Mark and Justine, I wish you the best of luck with this book. And I'm thinking in my mind, number 2 will be on the way really soon. You may not know it yet, Mark, but I'm thinking that's what's going to happen.
Well, we have the text. We have the text. I just have to keep my, my other responsibilities going.
Yeah.
And before I invest the time in making that happen.
Yep, I get it. Well, thank you both. I appreciate you
so
for being
much.
on today's episode, and I wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thanks.
Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. And remember, don't rewind your life, fast forward it. Until next time, keep moving forward. Hey y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. All right, y'all. Peace.